Hello everybody, welcome back. This week I wanted to do a little MeshCore update video, and I thought it best to do it with this little mobile solar node that I created. Currently I have Meshtastic loaded on here, but in my last video I created this little solar node. But what I did is I did add this 1/4 inch thread to the bottom. I printed a little feet, and then I thought, let me add some 1/4 inch thread over there. And what that allows me to do is to then mount it on something like this tripod over here. So let me just get that mounted, and it actually works pretty nice. So that's it mounted there, and I can, there we go, the whole mesh solar node then on a tripod, which is of course mobile. If you go somewhere or go to a camp, or you're somewhere where your camp is, and you're going to be down somewhere, you can leave this guy at the top on a on a tripod like this, and it will charge itself and keep the communication going. It will be sort of your gateway to the rest of the world. But let's go load MeshCore on this guy and just do a little bit of a MeshCore update video to see where we are in MeshCore. Okay, so here I have the two devices. Then I have this guy, which is the solar node I was just showing you outside. And again, I built that in the last video. And it's got that seed NRF kit inside here. It's a very tiny little node. And a nice big battery and a solar panel. So very simple build. And this is currently running Meshtastic. So I want to load MeshCore on this. So one of the first things I will do is I'm going to unplug, of course, the power I get from solar, and I can even, I'm going to unplug the battery. So this node is now sort of dead, and I'm going to plug in the cable from my PC. And again, I have a Mac PC. So if we're looking at the PC, then I'm going to go to meshcore.co.uk, and I'm going to go to Web Flasher, and here's all the devices they support. They support a whole bunch of these, but this one specifically is a Seed, this one, Seed Studio NRF 5240. That's what that is. I believe that is the right one. So let's try it. We're going to do that, and we're going to turn this solar node, let's turn that into a repeater. Okay, so here's the version. I'll load the latest version, and I'm going to hit flash. It's going to, of course, pop up the little screen, and this differs in Windows, but I can see that that is the little node, the ZAO or whatever, the seed node. I'm going to hit connect, and we're going to see here that it says flashing. Do not disconnect the device. And immediately I can see there's a problem. Okay. Now I believe the issue here is it needs to enter, of course, DFU mode. This isn't, because it's an NRF, it needs to enter DFU mode. So I'm going to hit there, and I'm going to make sure that it enters DFU mode, which it now seems to have done because I see a check mark there. And then I'm going to try and hit flash again. Let's see what happens this time. And there we go. It's now flashing. Yeah, the NRF chips, you have to first get them into that DFU mode, which I did there by pressing the button, and it's flashing it. And this guy is now a repeater. So with repeaters in MeshCore, you cannot configure them with, you can remotely configure them, and you can also configure them with USB, but you cannot configure them with Bluetooth. So I'm going to configure this guy with USB or USB connection. So I'm going to choose that node, and there it is. That's all the details about it. It's 191. That's a version we uploaded. Its role as a repeater. And I'm just going to say with soft LoraMeshDevices.com. Repeater, something like that. I can set the location. So I'm going to go in and go somewhere here in Florida, in St. Petersburg, where I live. And I'm going to, where do I live? I live somewhere here. I am going to, where am I? Oh, okay. I'm going to just set it, let's say, there's a little park here next to me. I'm going to set it right over there. So, set location. So that's now filled in the location. So password, pass123, pass123. I'm just going to set the password. So these are the radio settings. There was a US-Canada alternate, but they've now changed it to this recommended setting, which is 910.525. You can see the bandwidth and the spread factor, all of those. So all of our details there, and I'm going to hit Save Settings, and that has now saved the configuration to the MeshCore node. Okay, so it should be ready. If I try and configure it again, I'm going to open up, I'm going to open up, I'm going to open up that node, and we can see that, yeah, it kept the name, it kept all of the detail. That's the guest password. You know what? I don't want the guest password to be pass123. I just want it to be hello. That's the default guest password, and the admin password I changed. So there we go. Yep, everything's good. Let us send the advert. It's there. I can also do OTA, but that's a little bit advanced, over the air updates and stuff. But great. So that node is done. Now let's create a client quickly. So back at the machine, I'm going to, back at the node, I'm going to connect my, my solar panel. I'm going to connect my power to this. There we go. And this node should now boot up and be available as a repeater in MeshCore. So close that up. There it is. So next to it, I have this one. I'm going to, this also at the moment runs Meshtastic, and this is a Heltec V3. I'm going to load on that one. So back at the PC, I'm going to refresh, and I'm going to look for Heltec V3, and I'm going to set this one up as a companion with Bluetooth radio. So 190 is the latest version. I'm going to say erase the device and flash it. We can see that there's the device connected, and we can see with the Heltec V3 it immediately starts flashing it. So that's busy flashing. So let's wait for that to finish flashing. Right, it's finished flashing. So this guy, this Heltec V3, is now loaded with MeshCore. I don't know why it says loading and it's not changing. There it is, 190. It's good, and it's showing a pin. You can see that it has a pin. Let me move the repeater out the way. So there it is. It's showing the pin. So now, using my mobile device, which I have over here, I'm actually going to just put this guy like this. Let's press that button. And we can see that, first of all, MeshCore is now evolved. If you press through here, you can see the message count, you can see the recent adverts, you can see the frequency you're on, we can turn Bluetooth on and off. There's quite a bit of a new functionality here that wasn't there previously. And one of that functionality is definitely to be able to turn the unit off while, previously in MeshCore, you couldn't turn this unit off. You had to physically remove a battery to get it to turn off. But now you can actually do that by, there's your advert. You can send the advert if you want. Bluetooth, so you can see there's quite a bit of functionality. But if I long press it here, it goes into hibernation mode, and the node's actually off now. And if I turn it back on, I think I have to press the reset, and I'll unplug it from the PC. You can see that it's loading. It's interesting how long that takes. But there it is, and it's showing the pin again. So you can now turn Heltec V3 nodes off. So next I'm going to go into the MeshCore app. Now for this, let me set my my settings quickly to get this set properly. 1 second. Okay, looking at the MeshCore app, and I hope this is somewhat visible. But I'm going to hit connect here, and I can see that there's one node available, which is this one. And I'm going to connect to it, and it says failed to connect. And the reason is I have previously had this guy connected. So I'm going to kill that Bluetooth connection. I'm going to hit the forget it, and then I'm going to 909848. I'm going to put the pin in. Going to hit OK, and let's see if it wants to connect to the device. And there it goes. It's connected to the MeshCore to this device now. So let's go send out the advert. 0 hop, meaning I'm sending an advert just in this area. And then we can also do the same with flat routed. And here's my device. Let me choose my preset here. I sent out the advert, but I haven't even set my channel properly. So I'm going to go US Canada. Sorry, I can set the location. This doesn't have a GPS, so I set it to that default setting. Sorry, and that is this USA Canada recommended one. Sorry, there we go. I'm going to save that to a little radio. And let's try that again. I'm going to send out the advert and see if that works, if I found anybody. So here is discover contacts, and I have not heard from anybody yet. This is brand new, just loaded. But yeah, so that's great. So let's just look at the MeshCore app. I'll actually send out a let's connect this guy. I'm going to connect that quickly. again, and I'll just send out a, uh, um, a advert from it, just so that we can see that arriving. Right, I've got the solar node connected via the cable again. I'm going to go back into here, but I'm going to hit console this time. So there's the little NRF repeater that I set up earlier, and this drops me into the climb mode. So I can do advert over here, and that's going to send out an advert to the frequency. And if we look on the PC, on the mobile app, we can see that we just received an advert. There it is. That guy just advert itself. And I see there's an advert interval in minutes, and I'm going to say every 60 minutes automatically send the advert. So every 60 minutes, that node is now going to advertise itself. There's a whole bunch of commands available. You can go through that. But yeah, just wanted to show you the climb mode via the web browser. Right, so back to here, we can see there is the repeater, and it's what is its password, and I made it pass 123, and I'm logging into that repeater. There we can see the repeater. I can request the status. It's 89% battery. We can see that it's been up for 12 minutes, you know, uptime, noise floor, all of those kind of things. I can change its settings over here. I can go fetch the latest, you know, its configuration, its radio configuration. There's that. I can send adverts. I can advert interval like I just did. I set that to 60. So if I go and pull those, we can see that's set to 60 every 60 minutes. Sometimes it has, so every 12 hours it will auto advert also. So, but yeah, that is I can now administer the the solar node via this node, this mobile one. So what's new here is, you know, if I look at the map, there we know is the one that we placed onto the map. We placed it over there. We can see that's where it's at. The little solar node. But we have some cool tools here now. If we go into tools, we can do you know, we can always do a trace path. So I can say trace via path, but there's videos on showing how pathing works and all that. But I can say trace that guy for me. Yeah, you know, my device doesn't have a location. So, but what's new here is this is very cool, the antenna coverage. So if I go back to where I am in the US over here, and this is really cool in the MeshCore app now. If I go back to where I am, and as we saw previously, I placed this guy right over there, right? So if I say, and that shows that, but if I say long press a point, and it's going to load the coverage for that antenna. So that's what it's busy doing now, loading coverage. And there we can see from that point, height-wise, where I should be able to see. So it should cover all of this areas as what that point there would cover. So I should be able to see at least to there. I should be able to see down here, all the way down to the water. And it's actually discovered my another device should be able to see all the way down to downtown St. Pete from that point. But you can do that from any point. And then the other thing is it's got a line of sight measurement over here. So if I go back to, I am in over here. So I placed that little node in this park over here. If I do that, and I would say that's my first point, and let's say I put my second point in the middle of this park, it will draw me a graph showing how well I would be able to get from there to there. And that's in this graph. You know, it's 10 meter, 20 meter elevation. We can see the ground level going in the middle. But according to this, it should be able to see it, is what I can read. But it has that function now as well. If you want to make sure from point A to point B, you can see each other, line of sight, then this is a new tool in there. So those are just two of the new cool tools inside of Meshtastic. And we can see here's my room service that just announced itself. There's a room server, and there's a LoraMeshDevices. That's the solar node we just built. So there you have it. That's my little update on MeshCore. It really is coming together very well. It really is working pretty well now. I'll play around with it a little bit more this week, but awesome stuff. I'm really, these guys are doing some real great work in MeshCore. So thank you, and we'll speak again soon.